Everybody, if you will put your name and your site location and your cohort number in the chat room. We're going to get started here in about 1 minute. Thank you, Cynthia, for putting your name in. All right, we're going to get started today. We have probably a shorter version of what we normally do, but some exciting information to share with you. And then, backed by popular demand, Janie is going to go over her schedule because compliance monitoring is coming up, and a lot of you are a little bit anxious about it. So that's what we're going to cover today. First and foremost, I want to talk a little bit about cohort 17. We anticipate it'll be out around the last week of October. We know that's problematic in some cases for you, but hopefully you've located a stream of income and revenue or something to do in between, and hopefully you'll be funded for the next round. But we can't guarantee anything, and we hope you're working hard on your partnerships just in case it doesn't work out. Also want to talk to you about cohort 15. Remember, you're going through your closeouts. It's very important that you have all that information together. Also, I encourage you to print off your compliance monitoring reports and keep them in your files in case you have an audit between now and the next 3 years. As far as cohort 16, we want to talk about getting your documents together. I know we covered a lot of information. You might want to go back and pull those up on the website. Alicia did a great job last year going step by step, component by component. So you might want to pull those back up and start getting organized because we're really close to releasing, opening up the Cognia 21st Century for you to start dumping things in there. A couple of other good news, archery is back. So if you're interested, the higher ups, the legal, the lawyers, the whoever have voted that you can have archery in your programs. Obviously, if it's written in your grant and you've been restricted from purchasing arrows or whatever it may be, you will need to let us know about that so that we can run that through our upper administration. Other things to be aware of, we have our lights out after school on October 26th, and we want you to send your pictures in and let us know what's going on. Make sure you have all the clearances you need on your end, but we really want to celebrate that because that gets national awareness. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Pine, see if she has anything to add today, and if she doesn't, she'll tag on to Alicia because I know Alicia does have something to add.
Hello, everyone. I do not have anything to add. I'm just glad to see all of the friendly faces on here, the ones that I
We
can't
can't
see.
hear you, Rebecca.
Oh, no.
It's low. I think it's just low.
Maybe if I put this here.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello. Okay, but no, I do not have anything for you all today. The only thing is that if you have continuation, those apps, if you could go on and get them in. But other than that, I don't have anything. Oh, and also those ES2s, the ES2s for each month. Remember that they are due 1 month. What date, Alicia? If you could give do you know the specific date?
30 days after services have been rendered, we would like for them, that is the way it's supposed to run,
Mm,
in order to get those ES2 so that we can we'll have enough time to get those approved and the documents reviewed.
okay, and that's all that I have.
All right, so I'll just piggyback right on up. Just want to let you know that we do have cohort 16 training coming up on October the 24th. We want you to save the date. It will be at Alabama State University at the Ralph David Abernathy Hall. We will have a flyer that's going to go out for you all to have a save the date. It will be from 9 o'clock to 4 p.m. It is for one day. And this is primarily the audience will be program directors, site coordinators, and lead teachers. Anyone in a leadership role that's going to be responsible for handling things such as compliance monitoring, the expenses, making sure that the whole process as far as lesson plans and all of that is in place. We kind of want to put some tools in your hands and also what to expect from an external evaluator that should come out. So just some things we wanted to make sure that our administrators who are administrating the grant itself is aware. Then the next month, we're waiting on a confirmation of this day, but we're looking for it to be in November when we will actually have training for cohort 17. These would be for brand new grantees who've never held a 21st century grant, or if you feel the need that you need some retooling, then you can come out and that's pending, but it's supposed to be at ASU as well. But you'll have more information about that. But right now, we do know for sure that it's going for a fact that we will be presenting a training at 24 for at ASU October 24th from 9 to 4. I think that's about it.
Okay, I'm going to piggyback on a couple of those things. It is required that one person at least attends the training that Alicia was referring to. Also, want to talk just a little bit about the workflow from our office. Sometimes we get calls or ES2s that are 6 months late and people need money right away. It's very, very difficult for us to turn those around quickly. We have a lot of other duties. 21st century is not the only thing we do. So if you can work on a timely manner and getting those in, that'll be helpful to us and helpful to you. Same thing with continuing applications. Remember, they're due right now, and it's open for you to start working on as opposed to do in the spring. And you can do a revision in the spring, but right now is when you put everything in there. If you have questions, you can contact us or obviously contact Erica and her great staff. Erica, you have any comments for today?
So just talking about Easy Report, if you're cohort 15, and don't forget that fiscal year ended September 30th. So you shouldn't still be adding to your Easy Report after September 30th. You can go ahead and finish up your Easy Report attendance for September. Remember, that's due October 15th for everybody. But make sure that you have your activities and you have everything in there correctly so that you can close out your cohort 15 Easy Report. And hopefully if you're awarded cohort 17, then we'll start up, redoing that Easy Report, because that'll be a brand new Easy Report. We still can pull our students down, but we'll make new activities and all of that to go along with your current grant. So that's pretty much it. Don't forget, Linda Dean sent an email last week on the 2nd, just with reminders about the Easy Report, what you needed to finish and all of that. And I think I sent everybody an email just saying, pray for Linda Williams and her family. Linda Williams' husband passed this weekend, so please keep her in your thoughts and prayers. We know everybody loves Linda Williams, so just know that she's doing good, but she's thankful for everybody's prayers. So just keep her in your prayers.
Very good. We definitely will do. So again, as we talked about, by popular demand, she is back. She has what we call the magic schedule. It lets everything happen in the way it's supposed to happen and helps your compliance monitoring and our compliance monitoring of you go a lot smoother. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to the Janie Browning. Hello, Janie.
Well, that was a very kind introduction. Hey, if you were here with me, it probably wouldn't be so kind. No, I'm thankful to be here today. I do hope that the information I give to you is useful. I do want to be encouraging and say that, it didn't run as smoothly when we started, and it wasn't something that happened overnight. So I hope that through my trial and error here with Gaston City and managing multiple 21st century sites, I can be of service to you, and you don't have to do the same things that I did that didn't work, okay? Because there's a lot to it. And just when you think you've got it figured out, you realize you've left some things out. And so I hope that what I give you today is a good start for you. I'm not great at Zoom, but I'm going to try to drop those documents into the chat box as well. Okay. But when
Janie,
we're talking about compliance monitoring and
Hey,
getting
Janie.
ready to
Janie.
have all of our documentation in Cognia, it is a monster. Okay.
Hey,
How many of
Janie,
you,
can
this
you
is your
turn your
first?
mic up a little bit?
Oh, you
Can you?
can't hear me?
Just a little bit. If you can turn
Okay,
it up
I'm
just a
gonna
little
do my
bit.
best.
I'm
Let
sorry
me
to
see.
interrupt you. Thank you.
No, let me go to volume.
That was a little better, maybe because you're closer to the microphone.
I'm gonna move. Can you hear me better now? I don't even know where my microphone is.
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, so I'm gonna be really close and y'all can see all my wrinkles. Don't judge. It's what time? 3:45. The makeup is worn off by now. So I guess we'll meet up close and personal today. So that being said, I'm going to share my screen in just a minute and go over what I think is a good tool for your compliance monitoring, because how many of you are cohort 16? Raise your hand. Okay. 15? No? Writing for noon? Okay. So hopefully this will help you. I always create a folder for all of my after school sites. And inside that folder, I put information that I know is important and relative so that we're on the same page. Because what I don't want to happen is at the end of the year for me to say, hey, I need your lesson plans for service learning. Hey, I need your lesson plans for STEM. Hey, I need your physical education lesson plans, because you don't always get them. So I've developed a system where I create a calendar, and that calendar is in conjunction with the compliance monitoring lesson plan list. And so I want to start by just sharing my screen. Okay, are y'all seeing a Google Doc right now?
Yes, we're seeing screen.
Okay, so I always start with, are you seeing the calendar now?
Yes.
I always start with creating a calendar, okay? And this is the newest, which is the October calendar. I do this for every site, and then they go in and collectively make the calendar their own. But there are things that they cannot take off, okay? That being STEM. Why? Because we have to have it 3 days a week. If there's any outside programming, I indicate that on here as well. As you can see, we have like dynamic education coming in on the 2nd, and it tells you what school and where they're going to come. Cultural Arts Center, 4-H, any outside programming for every site is listed on the calendar. What I have done is Wednesdays is what I call our compliance day. It's the easiest way to build it into easy reports as well, when I'm making sure that I have those in there if it's just an assigned day. If you look on the 4th, you see cultural diversity in yellow, the 11th, bullying, the 18th, technology, and the 25th is like an academic language arts math. That's my calendar. These Wednesday dates come from what I call the cheat sheet. And let me know if you see the cheat sheet. Can you see the cheat sheet now?
Yes.
Okay. How many quarters do we have?
4.
Oh, yay. And I divide those up and color code them because I'm nuts. And so my August and September calendar, every required lesson plan was going to be highlighted in green. Now I pulled up October, and you see that quarter 2 is yellow, right? So in October, we're doing these lessons that are on the calendar right here. You see those. November, these are the lessons that we're doing. December, these are the lessons. And I put them on the calendar for the date, and those dates are non-negotiable unless they cut the power off and put us out of school, okay? Because it makes it easier as far as collecting the data and what is needed to make sure that we're in compliance. I do this for the whole year and put it on every calendar. What I do not include is STEM, as you see down here, additional required documents. I do not include that. Why? Because it's already on the calendar 3 days a week. and they know that they have to give me a STEM lesson quarterly. Of course, enrichment, service learning, and these are just other reminders that I think are important, that when you get to do your Cognia, you'll say, oh, where is that? Evidence of your library usage. They want to schedule in pictures. And then they want you to sign a covenant. No, I'm kidding. If you're using the library. All right. Then you have your family night sign in and out sheet evidence. I always remind them to make sure that they're filing that in their box. And then the lesson plans must be completed using the instructions that I've given them in the sample, and I'll go over that. Because the worst thing that can happen is someone turns in a ton of lessons and they don't have anything on there that you need to have, okay? So I do want to switch over and let you look at the sample lesson plan. I make mine do a cover sheet. Why? Because when we first started, or when I took this position, they were just given lesson plans. But that's not what is needed. So then I was having to go back and find the information, or, you know, call the lead teacher in and try to figure out what was what. So I require them to do a cover page. And the cover page tells them the quarter, what the compliance number is in Cognia, the site name, the area, title, grade level, date, and the teacher. And then we have the lesson. And then after the lesson, I have the evidence. Okay? And let me scoot right back here, and I want to show you how I collect that. So I take that checklist that I just put up on the board for you guys, okay? And then I collect those lesson plans and I check it off, okay? So, like here's Emma Sansom, for example. I highlight and make sure I have every lesson, and I make sure that it has every piece that I asked for. If it doesn't have the component that is the evidence, then, you know, y'all better go get it and bring it back so that I can put it in, because that's difficult. So they'll turn in their page with their lesson, okay? And then at the end of that, whether that is a picture or a completed assignment from a student, okay? This is just one example. Everybody has their folder. I check that off. I scan it in. And then I keep it here, and then they keep a copy in their box in case someone comes on site and they need to see that particular evidence. Cognia, sometimes, you know, the world and technology may not always be friendly at one time. I think we got locked out of ours at one point, and it was like, okay, where's the box? We were so dependent on the technology. So I'm old school, and I try to be old school and new school. So everybody keeps the box, and then I scan it in as well, okay? And, you know, if they don't have it, then, I mean, I usually give them, you know, 2 days after my date to have it. And then if not, then, well, we go from there, okay? But they usually get it turned in, because I have pretty good staff here. So any questions about the lesson plan sample or the quarterly checklist or the calendars? Do you want me to show you a calendar one more time just so you can see? I'll pull it up one more time. that shouldn't be on the second page, but it didn't download correct. But if you see in September, they were green, right? And they turned all of those in September, okay? I
We just
mark the
need you to
calendar,
share
I
it,
mark their
Janie.
form, and then I make them initial the form.
Janie,
And then
you'll share your you'll share
Ma'am?
your share your screen. We can't see
Oh,
your
okay.
screen.
Yes, ma'am. Let's see. Well, it says it's sharing it. What do y'all see right now?
We just see your pretty face.
Oh, Lord. How long has that been? I
I
apologize.
can see you. I can see it, the schedule and the
Oh, you
Oh,
can?
you can
Google
see
Drive.
it?
Uh-huh.
Okay. I was a little scared. Okay, so back to the calendar now. Can y'all see that?
Yes, we can see the calendar.
Okay, so again, this was the September. So I take it, I check it, I highlight it in green because I'm crazy. And then I make them initial and I initial that I've received it. Okay. So if something goes wrong, then I have it on paper as well. Any questions about that? I do want to show you something else as well. This is just what I call, I guess, a compliance cheat sheet. Can y'all see that? This is a little different than the
Yes.
quarterly, but they'll say, oh, well, I don't know that number, or what compliance is that? So I give them this sheet, okay? So that they know when they're doing technology that it should be 1E, 1F. But then I also come down here and put things that I know are directly coming from my site. We know a lot of things that are compliant come from a district level, you know, the central office level, things that I might have to make sure imported or documentation and evidence that they may not just give to a program lead site. It may be something that I'm privy to, but they don't want to share it with everyone. And so I've made a list kind of the things that I know I have to have for my site coordinators. And I know that they need to be doing that all year. And so if you move down here, I put, of course, library usage, the family event. This is a biggie, okay, because people don't always want to have it. So I always start in the beginning of the year reminding them the importance of the communication with the school day teacher emails. So we just make a practice of monthly, at least every month, sending out emails to the teachers and then keeping a record of those emails. They file them away and then I copy them and scan them in, and so that we can send them out. We also have like homework charts and things like that that we can use as communication to make sure that we're implementing the skills. But I always encourage the site coordinators to take ownership of that from their site, because every site is different. And so the need that might be from a central office level is not going to be what's happening in that school, whether you have a large EL population or, you know, a gap in your math and you're trying to do more interventions in math. So remind them if they haven't been doing this already to start, okay? Because this is your compliance year and you want to make sure that they're doing those. If they get in the habit, it just makes it easier. Of course, there's surveys, samples of your sign in and out sheets, which we keep those in the box, but you just want to make sure that you have those because Kanya asked for them. Of course, your safety drill sheets, make sure that they're keeping up with that so that you can put it into your Cognia, your sample par and timesheets. And of course, making sure, I may be overstepping here, I don't know that they match, okay, that they're correct. My secretary is 84 and she is meticulous, okay, meticulous. Buddy, they do not make a mistake on a par without her correct, making sure that it's fixed and corrected. And, you know, we check those every month with our payroll. We have a huge notebook with pars for every site. And in front of that, we have the timesheet with the par to match it, okay? And they hate us for it, but, you know, it's part of compliance. So just make sure that you have those as well, because I know that's something that sometimes you can say, oh, do I have that or do I have this? And I'm only saying things that I know in the past I wish things were done differently. So I'm making sure that they're done in a manner that makes it effective for us and easy at the end of the year. Of course, your inventory, you know, keep it, I would say, on the sheet, of course, that is given to us. Okay, because it's easier to have it on that inventory now and starting it the entire time than when it's time for closeout, because we've done closeouts too, and then it's a different inventory. So make sure that you have that sheet that's provided for us. A sample snack count sheet. Make sure you have that. I know that's not a lesson plan thing, but that's just one thing that's important to have, because those are things that they're going to ask of you in Cogman. And there's a whole lot of other things, okay? But these are the ones that I have always felt like you're leaning mostly on your sites to provide. And if they don't know, they don't know. But if you tell them from the very beginning, it makes it a little bit easier. So that's just a cheat sheet on some different things that are needed for your compliance. All right. Any questions? Have I skipped over? Oh, one more thing. This is that lesson plan drive that I was talking about that we worked on during the summer, okay? And so we have elementary, high school, and middle. And of course, is it going to get better? Absolutely. Again, why? Because I have people helping me do it, you know, and putting lesson plans in. And so if I don't like it, and sometimes I don't like something that's in here, then I'll go in and take them out and put it in, because I want to make sure it's in line with what we're doing. Okay. And so I've checked most of them, and they should all be pretty good to go. So if you click on elementary, then you can click on all of the areas that are in compliance. Okay. So let's say if we went to cultural diversity, then there's lesson plans. And how many do you have to have every year? 4, right? So there's more than 4 they can pick. So they would pick the lesson plan. Then all they have to do is teach it, add the cover sheet, and the evidence. And so when they give it to me, it has all of those things in it. I promise it does make them a little happier when you tell them it's already in there. All right. If it's drug and bullying, you click under here, they can choose. Environmental literacy, same. Financial, same. Okay. Same thing for middle and high school. It'll be in here, and they can just click, okay, and pick a lesson, and then teach it, do the cover sheet, and then provide the evidence. I'm not sure how to drop this into chat.
And Janie, I would say too that it's important compliance wise to keep various grade levels. We see a lot where one teacher's first grade, everything's from that teacher, and they have, 6 other teachers and grades going on. So to be sure and spread that out. And I know the compliance monitoring document says that, but that's one thing that you do well with your elementary, middle, and high school by separating it.
Yes, and then I always tell them, make sure, like, middle school. I don't want middle school just to say grade 6 through 8. Okay, so you see that this one says just grade 8. Okay. It doesn't mean they might not ever have one that says 6 through 8. They may have made accommodations, but I like for them to be specific and make sure that there is a variety of those mixed into what they're giving me for compliance, because I don't want all the lessons to say K2. No. Kindergarten, 3rd, 2nd, 4th, 5th, whatever. let's see. Any questions? Did I miss out on anything? I'm gonna try to put this in the chat box.
Hey, Janie, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is Cynthia from Greg. Your file, the Google Drive, do you give your teachers access or just the site director at those different locations?
Well, I have a couple of different folders. So I have a after school site leader folder, which let me just share my screen, okay? And y'all tell me if you have it. So they have here a Google folder with budget information, calendars, family nights, incident report forms, inventory, operations manual, staff responsibilities, student family handbook, all the what I would say administrative. My teachers do not get that, right? Just my lead teachers, okay? Their safety drill sheet, their safety plans, things like that, okay? Now, of course, we share the safety documents with everybody, but I keep it in a sample in the site leaders because you'll have a new kid enter and they'll need a new student handbook, right? Well, I don't want to have to make a copy and try to send it on the pony. Just you have it, okay? There's an instant, you have it, so that they have access to all of those things that they're kind of dealing with on the administrative level. Now, the lesson plan folder, I give access. Everyone has access to that, okay? All of my teachers. So for some reason it's not. Well, you've already looked at it, so I'm not going to go back to that. But the lesson plans I share with everyone because the teachers are the ones doing that. They're planning together with their site coordinator, but the teachers are the ones implementing those lessons.
So are they uploading it themselves after they teach that?
Into Cognia?
No, on your drive, on this drive.
Well, no, they don't. They turn anything into the site coordinators.
Okay.
And then I meet with the site coordinators and then I check off everything with the site coordinators. And if they've assigned something to a teacher and for some reason that didn't get turned in, then I know who that teacher is and I send an email to that teacher, of course, CCing with the site coordinator, and then to make sure we get that turned in. And then the site coordinator and myself, we make sure we get that uploaded. But I'm telling you, I've turned into, I'm a box. I like the box. And then I like to take it and scan it in because it's easier than trying to pull it from a million different places, when you're sharing a lot of Google Drives because we have a lot of sites. But that's going to be your preference. I put things into a folder for the external evaluators. You could like here, Miss Odom, external evaluator. I keep a Google thing there. And then I separate it by schools, all the data, and then they can click on and go in and pull whatever they needed to pull from the sky to do their evaluations. I just try to make it as easy as possible.
So when it comes to uploading in Cognia, you have these folders.
Mm-hmm.
You do that?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that. Our district doesn't really like to give, access, so yeah, I do it.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you.
Okay, I think I'm gonna
Thank you so much, Janie.
Thank you.
We love the organization. We love how we can flip through it because it's titled and everything's there. It tells us right what we need and it's in line with what's in Cognia. That's very, very helpful. It saves us from reading everything like you were talking about with the lesson plans and trying to figure out where it matches. So last year, as you know, we did Y for Y for the entire year. We had all kinds of great training from them. This year, what we want to do are lessons from the field, and we're kicking it off with Janie. So if you have something you'd like to present or a topic you'd like us to find someone to present on, please let us know. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in different vendors. We're not endorsing any vendor, but we just want to let you know what's out there, who's out there that can help you with lesson plans or your financial side. And just bringing it all together and sharing with each other. So we hope you like our format this year. And if you have any questions about it or suggestions, please let us know. In closing, what I would like to say is start thinking about if it's like Christmas and you had supplemental money, supplemental funding, what would you do with that? And when you come across some things in your mind, how would you incorporate that into your program? Shoot me an email. I'm curious to know what you would do if you had the opportunity to have supplemental funding in your program. So just start brainstorming. If you have any other questions, just let us know. Send us an email. If not, we know we'll be talking to you soon when Cohort 17 is released and our in-person training. So it's great to see you all today, and thank you very much, Janie.
You're welcome. I am putting some of those links in the chat box right now in case anybody wanted to click on them and download.
Okay, and Erica's going to put them in her Friday email. And if you're not on that Friday email, please let us know because we want to make sure you're on that. That's where we send out a lot of communication and a lot of resources that'll save you in the long run of having to track them down or wonder what's going on. Right, Erica?
Exactly.
Okay, well, everybody have a great afternoon and keep doing the great work out there. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Erica, you just look beautiful today.